12p or 30p provides a high-budget cinematic look that your viewers will associate with projects shot on film and will make your project more captivating and draw the viewer's attention more than 60i video. You can program and store 3 custom presets in the XL2. Each preset gives you total control over the look and color space of your image, with a wide range of parameters you can tweak to get a wide variety of looks, from old Hollywood to modern cutting-edge looks. Some of these parameters cannot be duplicated using any color correction or any other post-production process. Once your custom presets are tweaked to perfection, you can even transfer them to another XL2 via Firewire. Let's look through the highlights of the custom preset menu. First, we'll clear this preset to return it to factory settings. First, we'll look at gamma. The chips in a video camera respond in a certain way to variations in brightness and color in the image captured by the lens. This gamma curve gives video its distinctive signature. When switching to the XL2 Cine setting, you're engaging sophisticated modeling circuitry utilizing Canon's patented color technology, so the chips respond to chroma and luma variations like popular film stocks used in Hollywood film production. Here's video gamma. Here's film gamma. Video. Film. Once again, back to video. And now back to this Cine film setting. Regardless of your subject and set, when switched to the Cine setting, your image will capture color and light like 35mm film. One giveaway that you shot on video is how video acts when overexposed. Video doesn't have as much latitude as film, and so overexposes less gracefully, so the transition between the image and pure white area is more abrupt. The knee setting adjusts how quickly the highlights roll off as they approach the clip point, meaning the level at which the image overexposes and goes pure white. The low setting softens the curve to extend the XL2's highlight response for a more film-like, smoother transition into overexposed areas, where the high setting will push more highlights to white and result in a more sudden transition. With less latitude than film, it's more difficult to shoot video in high contrast situations like daylight exteriors. Since video will go pure white and pure black sooner than film, with most video cameras it's usually impossible to capture detail in shadow areas without overexposing the shot. With the XL2's total image control, if we need more detail in the shadows, we can use 3 different controls to affect how the XL2 responds to darker parts of the image. If we stretch the blacks, we can smooth the curve to extend the lighter portions of the shadow areas of the image and bring out more detail. Also, we can bring up the setup level and the master pedestal to lighten all dark areas. Another challenge is when the background is much brighter than the subject, but you want to capture detail in both subject and background. The black level, setup level, and master pedestal will let us reduce contrast and get the shot. Then while editing, we can adjust contrast the way we want it. For this shot, we'll stretch the blacks, bring the setup level up all the way, and bring the master pedestal up almost all the way. Here's the original shot, and here's the shot after changing contrast in post. Shooting with other cameras without this kind of contrast control, we would have to choose between blowing out the background, which is too bad because it's nice looking for a shot like this, or sacrificing our subject, which is even worse. And there's no way to fix it in post-production. Remember, you can always increase contrast in post, but you can never restore detail in pure black or white areas of the image. With the XL2, you have the option to shoot low contrast and punch up contrast later in post-production. Another, quite opposite use for the black level controls is when you want dark areas of the frame completely black. One example of this would be when shooting in low-key lighting and wanting a cinematic film-like look. Video is often associated with dark gray, milky, usually noisy black areas, while with projected 35mm film, a dark area in the frame will be a pure, rich, deep black. Here's a shot with the black stretched and the setup level and master pedestal increased. This is a soap opera-ish look associated with video. If we press the blacks and drop the master pedestal and the setup level, any parts of the picture that were dark go completely black for a rich, punchy cinematic look that's not at all video-like. With the XL2's total image control, all these looks can be programmed and recalled instantly. We can switch the color matrix to Cine for more film-like color imaging, and color gain, which we can adjust for muted colors, full black and white, or we can bring it up all the way to a Technicolor level of saturation. Color phase will shift the colors more red or more green. On the next page, we can see we have separate control over red, green, and blue levels. We can pump up the reds and greens, and then lower the blues for a European Amelie film look, where the colors are exaggerated. We can also increase the blues for a colder look, or increase the greens for a matrix or bleach bypass effect. If you're shooting in 60i mode and your talent wears a dense pattern, or your shot has small horizontal lines, because of the nature of interlaced video, these areas of the picture will jitter or chatter 60 times each second. In this case, you can set V detail to low, which will blend adjacent fields, decreasing vertical detail somewhat, but also allowing you to get the shot without the distracting jitter. The sharpness control enhances the edges between areas of contrasting color or brightness for a sharper appearing picture. Most sharpness controls, when increased, will give an extremely harsh, gritty, noisy quality to the picture, but the XL2 sharpness adds clarity without noise or harshness. Coring will reduce chroma level in unimportant shadow areas, which will drop the noise level without losing any detail or any chroma information in lighter areas. The noise reduction control can be set to high, medium, or low to further eliminate any noise if present. All of these parameters make up a single custom preset, which can be instantly recalled using the buttons on top of the XL2. Some of these functions can be mimicked in post-production, but shooting footage the way you want it saves you a lot of tweaking time, render time, and hard drive space while editing. The XL2 has 7 shooting modes. The easy recording mode is for inexperienced shooters and locks all controls in automatic. The auto setting lets you switch some functions to manual and keep others in automatic. In shutter priority mode, the XL2 will keep a fixed shutter speed, but vary the iris based on light levels. In aperture priority, you can manually adjust the iris to any setting, and the XL2 will vary the shutter speed to adjust exposure. This is helpful when you want to keep the iris wide open, but still want some automatic exposure control. Spotlight mode is an automatic setting to use when the subject is brightly lit with a dark background. Low light mode lowers the shutter speed to bring up exposure. When shooting in any automatic exposure mode, you can use the AE shift dial to fine-tune the exposure up or down. The XL2 records SMPTE timecode with several options. We can change timecode from drop to non-drop formats. Under count up, we can choose rec run, which, like most DV camcorders, will run timecode every time the record button is pressed, and stop when the recording is stopped. When restarted, timecode will pick up where it left off. Notice when we stop recording at just over 30 seconds, the camcorder backs up slightly to ensure there is no break in timecode when we start recording again. Rec Run PS allows us to preset the timecode starting point, so the timecode on the second tape on a shoot can start at 2 hours. Free Run, once started, will run timecode whether recording or not, making it really useful when doing multi-camera shoots. You can get all shooters together and synchronize their start points, and the timecode will stay synced whether they're rolling or not. Under VCR setup, we can also specify user bit data, which can come in handy with some editing systems. The XL2 also generates standard SMPTE color bars with 1 kHz tone, both -12 dB and -20 dB, for setting up video and audio monitors and edit suites. Under the camera setup menu, we can turn on the zebra function to help set exposure. The zebra function displays a pattern of stripes over areas of the image that are above the specified threshold. The threshold can be set to 5 different intervals from 80 to 100 IRE. And you can assign Zebra on-off to a custom key, so you can turn it on when setting lighting and exposure, then turn it off with one push of a button while you're shooting.